Hello viewers. Well, it's been pretty quiet on the channel recently, just sporadic videos here and there while I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, little projects for the future. But first let's catch up on a bit of news and the projected London Grand Prix. This is one of the routes that's been discussed recently. Let's have a closer look. So the London Grand Prix then, certainly something we've been looking forward to for a long time. I think you can't walk around some of the streets of London and imagine Formula One cars flying down them at high speed. The problem has really been always the cost involved and how sort of practical is it. And when you look at somewhere like Monaco, they have to completely re-tarmac the whole track, lay the barriers weeks in advance, weld down all of the manhole covers, but it's a really epic exercise. And what I've done here for you today, guys, is I've put together a lap of the track with some of the edits from the different section that Jensen and Lewis were showing nearer the time. It was all a bit confusing, couldn't really get a real idea of the lap and what it was going to include. And we can see here I've also named some of the corners, so those of you that live in London will at least know where you are on the circuit now. So some nice high-speed sections here. Actually, looking at the circuit, I felt it would be better going, what's it going at the moment, anti-clockwise. I think it would have been better clockwise. This is where the DRS is going to be. Birdcage walk, isn't it? Oh no, next section actually after the Palace. That'll be quite a highlight of the circuit. And then round here the barracks into Birdcage walk, and this will be the DRS zone. Quite a tricky DRS zone though, because it's quite short up into a tricky braking zone which will be uphill. And of course you'd need to be on the inside there because it will throw the car outwards as you get to the top of that. Round into the Parliament Square complex, again very slow, progressive on the traction. Opening it towards the Thames and round the Big Ben corner as they call it, along the Victoria Embankment. This will be a nice stretch. Actually it probably would have been better even for DRS. Slightly wider area down to the end of that stretch and into Trafalgar. Again very bumpy. Wanted to line the car up for turn 19 after that corner. I've labelled the corners slightly differently to the organisers, in the sense that I've labelled the numbers of the corners for each turn of the wheel, which is usually traditionally what they learn. But the London Grand Prix, certainly a great opportunity there. We've also seen recently the Olympic Stadium has also been put up for the race, so there's a number of opportunities going around, but certainly it's something. There are so many fans for motorsport in the UK that can't always get to Silverstone, that it would be another great opportunity as well to get more people involved. So that was about a few weeks ago, just catching up on that for you guys. I'm sure many of you have seen it. Now the other news as well, of course, ascetic. I'm really looking forward to playing this game. I mean, they've got great handling, great physics, and to apply that now with a much more modern graphics engine can only be a good thing. What's important is obviously they can license as many cars and as many tracks as they can, and we await to see what the final listing of tracks will be. Some interesting ones in there so far, but we want more, so we'll wait and see. But at the moment, obviously visually, these new screenshots, the KTM Expo released recently. I saw this being raced in the Race of Champions at Wembley a few years ago. Great fun little cars. Wouldn't mind a go myself, has to be said. Kind of like the Aerial Atom, but with what looks like a better body kit and more downforce. Very nimble little things. So, Assetto Corsa coming out. I don't actually have a release date for it yet. I've been asking for it. We'll wait and see when the final release is coming. But I would assume if it's not late this year, it'll be early next year. Certainly it looks to be developing quite well. And I do look forward to our hands-on and giving you guys some feedback on that. I've not been able to give you guys all the feedback I'd like recently on PC titles, but I'm going to get back to that. Hopefully, eventually, one of these days, I'll have a gaming PC that's got, you know, got the power and the grunt to really test out some of these new titles. Of course, very shortly, I'm going to have my hands on WRC3, and we can see this part of the early trailer. I think it looks, you know, quite a long way better than the previous versions at the moment. There's much narrower tracks and everything. Yes, the cars still look a bit narrow, the wheels still look a bit narrow as well for my liking, but either way, some of it looks pretty promising. Some of these much slimmer sections here, very nice indeed. Every version has moved forward, it's just unfortunately they've come from a long way behind to actually catch up. So WRC3 news soon, and of course the news this week has been the BMW announcement for project cars, and they'll be having a number of BMWs in the game from all eras. Project Cars continues to grow, doesn't it? Loads of tracks, loads of cars, and the ability to paint your cars as well really sort of exponentially increases it. I think you've seen that by some of the Formula 1 cars, you know, one generic F1 car painted all the different colours and it looks like you have an F1 grid. Fantastic. So some really great BMW examples in there. Le Mans, everything else from a range of eras, which is fantastic to see. Always adds a bit to it. At the moment, as they say, they're just working on the physics. They need to get the physics right. Graphics, absolutely fantastic. Physics, jury's still out. Formula 1 car, BMW 2008. BMW, I'll tell you what, that was 10 years of aerodynamic taking over from mechanical grip, and though I'm glad to see the era is over from a sporting perspective, it certainly was impressive from an engineering perspective, and things moved forward leaps and bounds in that time. You can see that by some of the flows on some of those cars. R Factor 2, I've not had a chance to play it yet. I am hoping to play it very soon. This is some footage here provided to us by BS Nismo, who's been making lots of quality R Factor 2 videos. This, as you can see, is the old Monaco. How it's changed and hasn't at the same time. It was dangerous. It's dangerous anyway, but it was super dangerous back in those days. Goodness, some of the tracks. Dangerous for the crowd, as well as for the spectators, as well as for the drivers. And you look at this tunnel section. So risky. Imagine the cars moving about under you, bumpy road, and the high-speed section there. Look at that, threading the eye of the needle through. That just wouldn't happen today. So R Factor 2, I hope to have some more content on this very soon. In fact, we will have a video up in the next couple of days as well, looking at one of the mods I'm very interested in myself, and hopefully much more coverage on this later in the year, and I'll be giving you guys more news updates when I have them, and just letting you guys also know what I'm doing between the videos, because there has been a lot of work going on behind the scenes, but you will see more regular video content later in the year. But the London Grand Prix earlier then, looking, you know, it's a great layout, isn't it? It'll be a massive spectacle for London and for Formula 1 as well. Certainly the new generation of F1. How well it would work with overtaking, jury's out on that one. There's a couple of opportunities here and there, but I would certainly look at moving the DRS point. But that's if it ever happens, as I say. Some people are calling it a PR thing. They do want it to happen, but whether it happens there or the Olympic Park could be a more likely location for a better circuit, a much more open area, as well as the travel links for everyone to get to. So we'll wait and see on that one. Of course, Assetto Corsa, I'm looking forward to playing it. It should have great handling, great graphics, could be a big game. It really depends on how many circuits they have and what the final package is going to be, and when's it being released, and what are they up against. I'm sure Simbin will be replying with their new game, GT3 game, which is coming out, or maybe at Gamescom we might be seeing it, something like that. But whenever it's released, it's going to look pretty impressive. And of course then you have Project Cars, which looks stunning, and they're working on the handling. They just need to make some more steps on that. And then of course you've got R Factor 2, which is a complete opposite. They've got the handling, but they seriously need to make some steps on the graphics to really take it forward. But I'll be making another video about that here and there as well. And that's it really for the moment. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on WRC pretty soon, WRC3 should I say, pretty soon. And then Formula 1 coverage will be beginning on the channel probably September time, literally when it comes out in the shops. So we won't be allowed to play it before then, which is a bit of a shame, because I was looking forward to getting you guys some content through the summer to look at. But obviously they're holding back on this one. But I'll be covering all the new racing titles and getting back into the swing of things in the next few weeks. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.